Broken Head Radio. You're listening to Broken Head Radio with your host, Stan the Man.
Welcome back, Broken Head Radio listeners. Your host, Stan the Man here, and today's topic of the day is simple pleasures. And what I mean by simple pleasures are the ones that we used to have when we were a kid, like when we first found out how to do something, or we had our first idea that we thought was just ours. Um, what brings this up is I was fixing my son's bike today because last year I put it all together because we all were going on family bike rides every day. So I got all the kids a mountain bike, whether it was a BMX size mountain bike or a full size mountain bike. My oldest got the full size mountain bike, and then my daughter got a kind of like a BMX style full suspension mountain bike, and then not my youngest son, but my 7-year-old son got a specialized hard rock, which was the BMX style 9 or 6 speed. I think it might be a 6 speed. I don't think it's a 10 speed because it only has the first one gear on the pedals. So it's a 6 speed little specialized hard rock, and he rode it for I don't know half of spring season last year, and then he left it out, and the neighbors backed out of their driveway and backed over the rear wheel portion of it. So I spent hours upon hours upon hours upon hours straightening the rim and got the rim straightened out and put it all back together, and I thought that's all that was damaged on it. And so we got it all back together. He got on it to go ride it, and it kept derailing, and the chain kept coming off and kept coming off, and then I finally took a look at it, and they hit the derailleur also when they backed over it. So I was a little peeved at that, and it wasn't the neighbor's fault really because it was dark out and they were just backing out of their driveway. Kids should have put their bikes away. And so he went almost a whole year without his bike. I mean, he had to ride his older bike, which was just a single speed bike. Still, he had a bike, but he didn't have his cool multiple gear switching mini mountain bike that he was so excited about. And he pulled it out today and tried to ride it and forgot that it was broken. And I forgot it was broken too. So we threw it up on the porch and started tinkering with it. Was able to pull the derailleur off of it and completely pound it back flat. And I was trying to teach him. He stuck by my side most of the time. And we just did the best we could with it. And then I put it all back together and started tuning the derailleur and getting it to go full extension and how far I want it to, its limiters, set its limiters on its high and low, and got it switching all the gears and got it all put back together, and he was just tickled pink to be out riding his bike. And that right there is a simple pleasure, just being able to go out and get some wind in your hair riding a bike and just not knowing where you're going, just go to explore. I remember a kid just getting on your bike and going. I lived in a kind of a closed community. It wasn't a gated community, but it was one way in and one way out, pretty much. And we had a park in that community. And I know just growing up, we had to be home by the time the street lights came on. And if the street lights came on, and I heard my dad whistle, I knew I was in trouble. I'm late. Shh, crap! I need to go. All right, guys, later, and run home. So, I mean, it's different times now, but I do live close to a school. And hopefully, once all of this stay-at-home, shelter-in-place stuff is lifted, we'll be back up doing our bike rides. I'm sure we can go out and do it now, but I just don't want to have. I don't want to have any issues because I've seen on the news where there was a gentleman that went to a park with his family, and he was like the only people out there, and some guy that thought he was better than everybody else called in saying that they shouldn't be out there, and the cops came out and put him in handcuffs and put him in the back of a car. And come to find out, the guy was a retired police officer or some figure of an officer. And that's it. It's a shame that they're going to go that far to put you in the back of a car over this whole social distance thing. I mean, if you were putting up a fight, I can understand that. You know, if you're trying to cause a huge scene, I could understand that. But basically, he was just hanging out with his kid and his wife, and they approached him, asked him for his ID, and he said no because he had no reason to show his ID. I mean, he was not a suspect in a crime, or there was no probable cause, and he wasn't doing anything wrong, and so they threw the whole thing out of proportion and put his dad or put him in cuffs in front of his daughter, which was not very happy about that. I don't know the exact age, but she was pretty young. So yeah, I can't wait to get back out on the open road. We live next to a cemetery also that we can go ride through. Not like riding on the graves or anything, but they have a nice road that goes through it all, and it's a nice, quiet little place. And we go in and pay our respects every now and again, and that's kind of our bike ride. Is we'll go, and if we go all the way down to the cemetery and go through the cemetery and back home, it's roughly about a mile. So we used to do about a mile a day, which isn't a huge thing, but as we got used to it, we were able to do more and more and more and more and get that exercise and have that energy. And I can't wait to start doing that again. It's gonna be great. But back to my subject. Sorry, I got stuck on that segue real quick. Back on the subject of the simple pleasures is I went out there and he was riding his bike and he was just happy as can be just riding his bike. And so I wanted to kick it up a notch and give him something that I got to enjoy as a kid. And so I went in and found some of my local, casino cards that they stamp put the hole through them after they're done with them and give them away at the casinos or a couple bucks or whatever. And grabbed the Joker card out of there and hooked it up on his front fork so it would go through the spokes and sound like a motorcycle. And he'd never seen that before. And that made me happy. That was a simple pleasure for me to see him light up when he saw that sound come out. And he was causing that sound. And it got louder and faster the faster he rode. It was great. I just wish, as an adult, I could find those moments of pleasure like that more often. Because unfortunately, when you become an adult and you have responsibilities and all that, there's a part of you that's just cynical because you've had your experiences. You've been burned so many times, and you have your defenses and your blocks up when you're dealing with certain types of people in certain environments, and that's just something that's built into you and that you've learned how to do throughout your adventures. So, yeah, if there's any little things that you guys come out have every day that's considered a simple pleasure, that's just something you do just because it's there to do and it doesn't cost you to do anything, and it makes you happy. If you do have those simple little things, you can leave them in the comments on Facebook, on our Facebook page. That would be great. I'd like to see some comments. We also could take your calls. You can leave messages on our phone. Phone number is 707-998-5550. And yeah, just let us know how you guys are doing. It's been hard for everybody. The news is extremely depressing to watch, and you can't really go anywhere. So, my simple pleasures is I found a new one, and now that's this: being able to do my podcast and talk to you guys on a daily basis and get responses from you guys, and know that there's somebody out there that cares enough to listen, and that means a lot. And I just hope you guys are all safe. Oh, I have 2 birthdays to announce today. I have my daughter, Jordan. She's turning 11 today. Happy birthday, sweetheart, if you're listening out there. I hope you have a wonderful birthday, and I hope you enjoy your cake and stuff when you get home. And another birthday I would like to announce is a good friend of mine. We call him Licorice Joe, and it's his birthday today, too. So happy birthday, bud. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for coming over earlier and sharing a little bit of your outer space with me. I really, really appreciate that. And I don't really have anything else for you guys today. I hope you guys tune in tomorrow, because tomorrow is our Dining on a Dime edition, and we're doing the Cheapo Chili, and that's going to be exciting. It's a fun little recipe, and it feeds quite a few people. So if you have a household of 6 or more people, you'd be able to feed them pretty cheap. So tune in for that recipe. That's going to be a fun time. I really enjoy doing those recipes with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy trying them at home. Oh, yeah, and I almost forgot. I have a mixer coming that's a multi-channel mixer that can do more than 2 channels. So we're going to be able to have multiple interviews and phone calls coming through the same switchboard. So that's exciting. Going to have some more learning I get to do, and that's always fun. I love tinkering with electronics and technology and stuff like that. But that's about it for you guys. Thank you guys for stopping by. This is Broken Head Radio. I am your host, Stan the Man, and you guys have a wonderful day. And just remember, we're only one app click away.
You can now give us a call at Broken Head Radio 707-998-5550. Also, you can shoot us an email at brokenheadradio@gmail.com. Oh yeah, and don't forget about Pocket Cast, Overcast, Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and Radio Public. And be sure to visit us on Facebook, and we also have live streams on YouTube. So go ahead, choose an episode, and listen your little hearts out.
Broken Head Radio. Broken Head Radio.